Overcoming the scary moment. Oh, I'm stretching. It's a stretch stream today. Okay, I'm going to see, because experiments never fail and mistakes aren't bad. I'm going to see if I can post this invite link. Let's see. Please paste. Please paste. Okay. I'm curious if what I just posted, if that went to, I think maybe that just went to YouTube. I posted on the YouTube and maybe on Facebook, I'm not sure, the link to request to join the live stream. So if you want to go live with me, if you want to hang with me today or anytime on the stream, I want to figure out how to get that link more consistently shared, because I think it'd be fun to have people hop on and share their story, and we'll share stuff together. My phone is blowing up, guys. Don't you know I'm alive? Yeah, I'm calling this Overcoming the Scary Place, the Scary Moment. Excuse me. Oh, God. The scary moment where you're coughing a bunch. This is a great entertainment so far. So I talked about the scary moment, the scary place a couple days ago. And I just wanted to talk about that more today because I'm having more experience with it. So what do I mean by the scary moment? Oh, I want to pace. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up and not pace. No, I'm going to sit down. No, I'm going to stand up. No, I'm going to sit down. No, I'm going to stand up. No, I'm going to sit down. That's a good workout. Get those legs going. I don't even know what muscle that is. Follow me for more fitness tips. So the scary moment, I'm referring to the moment right before you do something you've never done before, or the moment, maybe you've done it before, but the moment right before you do something that requires courage. My experience has been when that moment comes, there's a huge amount of fear that shows up. There's like a potentially paralyzing amount of fear. And I think that fear has stopped me from doing stuff that I want to do, from trying stuff a lot in the past. And my hunch is a lot of people let the fear stop them when they want to do something new, or when they want to try something that might not work out. Well, I'm going to light this candle. And I have found through doing my rejection therapy, among other things lately, that when I choose to step past that moment, each time I step past that moment, it gets easier. So I guess specifically yesterday, I went over to Lincoln Park to do a rejection therapy video. I think this pickup line I have is hilarious. And I think it's a good pickup line of, hey, like if you're at the park, which where I was yesterday, I posted a video about it, but if you go, hey, do you have a phone number you're giving out to attractive guys you meet at the park today? So I filmed myself going up to a woman and saying that yesterday. And since I've done that was maybe my 5th rejection therapy video that I've successfully recorded and gone up and got rejected for, I felt confident. I stepped through that scary moment a lot faster. So a couple weeks, maybe it was a month ago at this point, I made a rejection therapy video where I went up to a woman sitting on a sidewalk and I asked her if she would want to take a selfie with me. And she said no, and which is great. It's all good. The plan wasn't it would have been fun to get a selfie with her, but that was not really the plan. The plan was just to ask, but I remember I almost walked up to her like 4 times and I kept like standing up and kind of circling. I was at a restaurant. I walked over to the bathroom, walked back. I was with a friend. The friend kept encouraging me. It was with Cal. And Cal said, you know the phrase, shit or get off the pot. I was like, yeah, you're right. I got to do this. And that scary moment was huge. And it was like really felt like an impenetrable wall to get past. And lately, I've been feeling like when I go up to people to talk to them, to ask them for stuff, whether it's stuff I'm trying to get rejected or not, or just talking to people, I'm able to like recognize that moment appearing. And the best way I can describe it is just step past it, because it's almost like if I'm going to approach a stranger to talk to them, to be weird for them, to ask them for something, whatever, it's almost like when I'm 5 to 10 feet away, it feels like there's like this impenetrable wall where it's really scary. But when I walk through that and then I get up to 5 feet away or like right next to them, that the fear really does go away. At least it drops dramatically because I'm there. And it's like the anticipation is the scary part. It reminds me, I don't really understand psychology in a deep way, but I was watching this video where he was talking about, they did this study with mice or monkeys with receiving rewards and stuff. And they figured out that the biggest dopamine spike in the monkeys was right before they received the piece of candy. They did a task and then received candy. And the moment after the task was done, right before they received the candy, was when they had the biggest dopamine spike, which is interesting, which means the anticipation provoked the greatest emotional response in the monkeys. And I think the anticipation of something that's new or scary, like new, can provoke fear in us. And I have been exercising stepping past that, and it's getting a lot easier to step past that. I filmed myself asking for a number yesterday in the park, and then I asked somebody else for the number. The second person, I mean, it was a great interaction. It would have been awesome to film because she loved it. She was cracking up, and she's like, "Oh, I'm married," and I was like, "Oh, well, make sure your husband knows he's a lucky man." And she was cracking up, and she said, "This made my day. Thank you so much. This was awesome." And I'm like walking away, and I said, "Do you think that line works?" She's like, "Yeah, that'll work. Keep using it." And it was like an awesome, fun, wholesome connection, and I had to step past the fear, the fear of a story that going up to women, you're a creep if you approach women, women don't want to be bothered, don't talk to strangers, all this stuff. I just had to step through that scary moment and just go up to her and talk to her. And then last night when I went to the open mic, I remember when I parked and I was walking over there, I'm walking next to these people, and I just start talking to them. And I was just way more comfortable just to talk to strangers. I saw somebody wearing gym clothes, and they looked like they left the gym, and I was like, "How was your workout?" And they laughed, and they were like, "Oh, it wasn't very good." I'm like, that's all right. I was walking with my keyboard, and I'm talking to these girls, and I just asked them, I said, "Hey, can I play a song for you? Will you film me?" And they were all excited, and they filmed me playing a song for them. And then I went to the open mic last night, and I have been to a handful of comedy open mics over the years, and it's been scary every time. I definitely don't feel nearly as confident as a comedic performer as a music performer. I mean, I don't have the reps like I do with music. I've performed music thousands of times. It's pretty easy for me at this point. But comedy, I don't have those reps. I don't have the experience. I don't have the confidence of making rooms full of people laugh consistently to know I can show up to a room full of people and make them laugh. However, I've fostered a lot of courage from the rejection therapy, from going to the park and playing piano for people, from doing things that have put me in new situations. And last night at the open mic, I wasn't really that scared. I was I guess anxious while I was waiting to go up. I don't know if anxious was the right word, just eager to go up. And I kept waiting for them to call my name. And I'm very grateful I went up because they cut some people. I was the very last person. And the room cleared out a bunch. I think early on there were probably 40-ish people there, and by the time I went up, there were maybe 15. But people stayed to the end. I was really grateful, and it was fun. I felt very good about what I did. Stepping into a new space, played some funny music, told some funny jokes, and overcoming the scary moment. I just want to encourage you to recognize that the fear is there, the fear is okay, and it's there and it's not real. It's there because you created it. You are projecting this fear. And I guess I'm just seeing it as there's a tangible space it occupies. It occupies this space a few feet away from where the destination is. And I'm seeing that when I step past the fear into the moment, it's not so scary once you're there. And each time I've chosen to step through the fear and go do the thing that it takes some bravery to do, it's that fear moment is smaller. The fear of looking like an idiot or I guess looking like an idiot is probably the biggest thing. Offending someone, it's shrinking every time I do it. And I know there's people who watch this stream because they admire my confidence and they want to be more authentic and confident. And today is kind of an encouragement and maybe a challenge a little bit. Maybe I'll push your buttons a little bit and challenge you to do some rejection therapy. Think of things that are scary to you and just put yourself in a situation to do it. And I would say pick something. Like, what's beautiful about the rejection therapy is picking like meaningless things where, like, okay, so maybe it's scary to book a gig, or scary to invite people to a gig, or scary to, just go to an open mic and perform. And also, if you really want to perform music, if that's what you feel burning deep inside you want to do, it's scary and it means a lot to you. So there's this story of, I can't screw this up. And you can work on that story of, it's like, well, you can't screw it up. It doesn't really matter. Like, each day, experiments never fail, and doing bad on an open mic won't tarnish your reputation as a musician in this town forever. Or doing bad at comedy or whatever, making a bad piece of art, just make it and then do the next thing. However, what's great about the rejection therapy is putting yourself in situations where you get to get rejected, get to maybe feel some shame, feel some awkwardness, feel some discomfort on things that don't matter. I challenge you, if you go to a restaurant today, ask for something outlandish. Like at Starbucks, I asked if I could pour my own coffee. My buddy Derek, he went to McDonald's and asked for a burger refill after he finished his burger. And the video is hilarious. What's hilarious is how accommodating they are. They're like, oh, like, they asked the manager, and the manager's like, oh, we don't do that at this location, but I think we're doing that at other locations. Hilarious. Oh, thanks for the like, whoever popped a like in. It says 0 people are watching, but there's 1 like. Now there's 2 people watching. Let's go. Go and get rejected. You don't have to film it either, because that adds a layer of complexity to it, but just ask someone for something where you know they're going to say no. Because I think rejection's scary when they might say yes. Take asking out a girl, something that I think a lot of guys think is scary. I guess maybe girls think anyone can think it's scary to ask someone out. I think what's scary about it is that they might say yes. And it's scary to go, oh, I got to do this just right, because if I don't do it right, they won't say yes, and then that reflects poorly on me. So instead of asking for something where they might say yes, find a situation where you know they're going to say no. When I asked the guy at the hotel if I could get a free room, like, I knew he was going to say no. If he would have said yes, that would have been even funnier. But it was like, I know he's going to say no. And like, I know he's going to think I'm crazy. I know he's going to be like, who are you? Get out of here. And doing that made it easier than in the park yesterday, asking someone for their number. She might have said yes, which is scary, but it was easier to do that, easier to step past the scary place, the scary moment, because I know that whatever happens, like, it's just words. It's funny. It's advice I always give to students when they're scared of making a mistake on music, on a performance. It's like, it's not open heart surgery. Like, what is the worst case scenario? I suppose in the park, the absolute worst case scenario is girl screams help and pulls out pepper spray. And like, I don't know, maybe that'll happen. Like, is that really going to happen? Maybe 1 in 1,000 people might do that. Really, the worst case, like the default bad scenario is they just go, no, thank you. Or, oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh, I have a husband. Or go away. I guess go away would probably be the worst case. That would probably sting the most. But then you live your life more. I'll share this again. I had a scenario where I put a camera on a stranger's face and she got real mad. She said, you can't do that. She was very mad at me. It was very awkward. I felt horrible. I went home and I sat on my bed and felt horrible for 2 hours. And then I realized it doesn't matter. I might have upset her a little bit, but I'm sure she's over it. I would be surprised if she even remembered that happening. And it was a great way to practice shame, because I think shame is just a story we tell ourselves when we say, oh, I'm a bad person because I did X, Y, or Z. And we build up things that like make this mountain out of things, where maybe you just made a mistake, or maybe, it's like, oh, I can't believe I said that. I made such an ass out of myself. It's like, Is everybody like, yeah, the time you said that, you made an ass out of yourself? Most people are so worried about how they look, they don't have time to judge how you're looking. And people who are judging how you're looking or how you're doing, especially when you're trying, when you're going for it, when you're reaching for new things, like they're not worth your energy. Judgmental people usually aren't making connections and getting a lot done. And I'm seeking to not be judgmental and like let people create space for people to make mistakes. I don't know if it's always been this way, but I really think in the modern world, in the world I've lived in for the past, I guess, past decade, maybe since college, I've really felt this like nagging pressure to be perfect. And I can remember like doing rehearsals in college or after college and like feeling really embarrassed if I made a mistake. I was talking with Matheson about that. He remembers like in safety squad rehearsals, like if he messed up, he was like, yeah, I just felt like I was the worst musician in the band and everybody was judging me. And he shared that with me in the past year. And it's so funny because I think my story about Matheson in safety squad is like, oh, he's one of the best musicians in the band. And like, if he made a mistake, there was nothing like, oh, Matheson's a bad musician. It was just like, oh, like, let's hit that again. One of the best musicians in the band screwed up, meaning this part's probably hard. It's probably good for us to all hit it again. And he's playing the instrument where it's most obvious. Like if the horn players screw up a harmony part, we might not even notice that because it might go by so fast. But yeah, mistakes are good. The scary place comes from the judgment we give on ourselves that we assign to other people. We say, people are going to judge me. I think what's actually going on is you're going, I'm judging me. And love yourself enough not to judge yourself, to step into weird stuff, to make mistakes. You know, today's day 71 of live streaming. I feel so messy. Sometimes I have a judgment. It's like, Danny, you should have a big audience by now. Like, you are screwing up because not a lot of people are watching these. But that's just a story. That's a shame boogeyman that lives in this ether somewhere trying to bring me down. And I am not going to let him dominate my story of my life, because I get to choose the narrative every day. You know, we live in stories. That's how we live our lives. There's the facts, there's what happened. There's kind of irrefutable things about reality. And then there's our goggles we put on that see it. So, and we assign meaning to things kind of recklessly. And so we live in these stories, and it can be hard to dig up the roots of a story. We can have a story that's really really entrenched. You know, I've definitely had stories about impressing people that I've been uncovering. I even think the story of like, you know, be perfect, don't make any mistakes. I think very recently it's been, no, mistakes are good, and flipping that story and sharing the mistakes. Like, I'll be honest, I filmed my comedy set last night, and like part of me is like, post the whole thing to show people a newbie comedy set, to show people that it's okay to get on stage and tell some jokes and get some laughs. And some of my stuff didn't really land. I'm watching back, and it's actually been really instructive to watch it, because like I'm seeing moments where I told a joke and I didn't like let the punchline land. I kind of talked through the funny part. It's like, oh, okay, next time I tell that joke, like, let me deliberately stop after that line to give the audience a chance to, one, laugh, and two, think about it, because maybe maybe the joke is complicated enough that they need a couple seconds after I say it to find it funny. But I got a little aside, but there's a part of me that says share the whole clip so that people can see your newbie set. You know, so that they can see it's okay to get on stage and tell some jokes that don't land. The other part of me is like, no, like, you got to be funny, Danny. If you show that, people are going to think you're not funny. So it is a battle, you know. It's like, even some of the songs I improvise for people and stuff, I'm like cringing while I'm watching, but it's like, man, the point was like what I'm doing when I do that is like freaking crazy. Like, you're going to give me a word and I'm just going to make up a song on the spot. Like, that's not easy. And don't give myself enough credit that like it's good even when it's like even when I don't knock it out of the park. Just simply having the balls to say, yeah, I'm gonna like start playing keyboard and start singing and let whatever come out based off what you said. Like that takes a lot of courage, and that is inspiring even when it doesn't come out exactly how I want it to come out. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap that up here today. I am at Firewood Barbecue tonight with Evan and TJ. Usually it's Luke, but TJ's subbing for Luke, and TJ's a homie. He's one of my favorite drummers to play with. Luke is actually playing with Spocket at Reggie's. So if you're on the south side and you want to see Luke, go to Reggie's. But if you're more in the Wicker area, come to Firewood Barbecue to see me, Evan, and TJ. It's a really cool new spot. Good food, and the atmosphere is very nice, very fun. Yeah, love yourself, and I'll see you tomorrow, babies. It's beautiful again outside today. I ran the past 2 days. I should run again today. I should really get out there and commit to my fitness, especially if I'm going to fight Neil again. Get that endurance up. So I might not be as big or as strong as him, but maybe I can outlast him in a fight. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. I will talk to you soon. Bye.